Okay, let's get this started. So, as you can see, my work table covered in lists. There's a reason for this. What happened actually is that one of my goals this year was actually to table at a convention, but I did no preparation for it whatsoever. But my friend did. She did make plans at a couple conventions on her own, and she then offered me a place at her table, see if I wanted to share it with her, and I accepted. So yeah, that's nerve-wracking but also super exciting. So essentially what we're gonna do today is just some inventory. I really need to know what I can sell, how much of everything I have, and there is stuff that is not ready to be sold that I need to also prep in time for the convention. So considering that one of the convention is in September and the other one is next month, I do have to get started. I have a lot of work to do. So let's start with the pins and buttons. Starting out, we have the little Gatchaman pins. So this is the first one. This one is called Oculi, Little Molly, the Mauler, of course, Papilla, or Papilla, Little Tattletale, the Secret Whisperer. And lastly, we got Bangs. I think is my favorite. Okay, so 12, 12, 12, 12, 11. So that means I have 9 extras. That is not bad. I'm gonna have to glue a pin back on all those pins. Therefore, to be continued. Now, moving on to button badges. So, starting with the Coffee Addict one. This is actually a great opportunity for me to just show off all my stuff to all the people that don't know me. So I got 51. I did bring this little container organizer. I think I'm gonna put most of my stuff in it because I'm not gonna go to the convention and just bring a bunch of baggies. I could probably disperse them a bit. Yeah, that's good. Next up, I have a nice tub of little Espion fan art. And then we also have little Umbreon. Okay, so I need to separate both. So I got 48 little Umbreons. I got 52 Espion. Okay. So the very last tub of buttons. So we have, this is the Fancy Rat button. So we got this one, and then we got the Heart Rat button. This one is actually featuring my little rat, Shanna, because I used to be a rat owner. I'm not anymore because rats don't live very long, so I'm an ex-rat mom because of that. I mean, I have a whole new bigger rat to take care of, let's be honest. But God, I used to love my rats so freaking much. There's $2 in there. Is there a loony in my bin? Is this the loony bin? So we got 49 Fancy Rats. $54 Heart Rats. Alright, that is it for the buttons. By some miracle, this somehow all fits. So I'm gonna be able to carry all of my buttons into this thing. Okay, moving on to the charms. Alright, so I got this huge container. Well, it's not huge at all, but I got this medium-sized container, and it's got most of my charms and earrings. I'm gonna be selling most of this stuff at convention, so let's start with what's in the container and then do the top after. Well, that one's gonna be easy. I have only one left of this charm. Next up, we have all the Nightmare Before Christmas children. Clever Little Shock. 8, 9, 10. We got Mr. Luck, 7, 8, 9. And lastly, we have Barrel. Probably my favorite too, I just love his design. 7, 8, 9 little barrels. So next up we got all the earrings. There's quite a few of them. So let's start with the Grumpkins. 6, 7, 8. Then we have the Angsty Bats. And we got a grand total of 5 of them. Let's do, well, the Creepy Ghosts. And I have a terrifying amount of 4 of them. The next one is the Rose Coffin, the clear version. This one I only have 1 left. And that's it for the clear earrings. Next up we have the black acrylic earrings. So let's start with the Jack Skellington. Just have 3 of them. Look how they glimmer. Yeah, next up, Bottle Ghost. These are much easier to see because they have a white outline. I think these are actually my favorite. And they also make a great necklace, so probably gonna steal a couple of these to turn into necklaces. Not as many people as I thought have their ears pierced, but everybody has a neck. They can wear a necklace. Next up we have the Spider and Web. And these I have more of because these are in a symmetric design, so I have double the amount for these earrings. 9, 10, 11. These ones, they're a bit more subtle because it's like red on black. But basically, yeah, these are the Rose Coffins again, but in the black version. And I only have 4 of them. Alright, so that's it for the earrings. We're gonna move on to the old bunch of charms. Some of these are not even peeled. Some of these are not even assembled. So first off we have the Kitsune. And a bunch of these have already keyrings, but they haven't been peeled. But yeah, so that's the Kitsune charm. So the orange UV ones I'm not gonna sell. There's just not enough of them to be sold, and also, yeah, it was an experiment. So the wooden Kitsune I have 9 of. So meet Grumpy Ghost. He says, "Don't talk to me." It's pretty cool with the phone charm too. I just don't know if it would make a good phone charm because of the tail. I feel like it could get stuck in things and just like rip off. Okay, so I got 9 Grumpy Ghost. Next up we got a social kitty. Today's mood, a social. In very, very tiny letters, it's written, "Approach at your own risk." Which in retrospect I should have removed because it's way too small. You can barely read it. And I got 5 of these. Moving on to the introvert snails. I've seen people make like introverted turtles, introverted porcupines, but not a snail one. And I think snails are great representatives of us introverted peeps. So that's my introvert snail. And we got 8 of them. I need to make more wooden charms. I just love the smell so much. Next up, the other 2 designs for the pink acrylic. So there's 2 designs. First one is a little Cheshire cat. Still like the design. I would definitely like to make more Cheshire cat merch. He actually looks so cool when you light him up with the UV light. So I got 14 Cheshire cat. The second design is the rat lover charm, featuring my 2 rats. The brown one is Shanna, the beige one is Litchi. And I love them so much I made a charm of them because I wanted to carry them with me forever. Alright, so we got 12 of the herd rats. Finally! So that was actually my first time experimenting with StickerMule's keychains. Okay, I guess quick review time. These are good to be sold. It's not that they're really terrible. It's just that the finish is not on par with my now standards with Zap Creatives. There's kind of a rough finish. The edges are a bit sharp. Everything else, it's fine. The print quality is more than fine. Like, it is sellable for sure. It's like 10 keychains for $10, free shipping. So it was a good deal. It was worth trying. I don't regret it. I'm just not... They're not gonna replace Zap Creatives for me. That's it. So I got 8. Okay. Oh my god, we're finally done with charms. And then we're gonna move on to stickers. And I think we're gonna stop there for now. Alright, so next up we have all the manufactured stickers. There's not that many of them, so that should be quick. Starting with Absent, an original character of mine, by the way. 15. Next up, the Zombie Twins. I love this art so much in general. I'm trying to do less generic cute stuff and more creepy cute, horror, spicy stuff. Like more me, essentially. So I got 20 Zombie Twins. And then the Coffee Addicts. I mean, look at this mug. Literally. So I got 18. Sorry, I'm counting in French because I don't want to make a mistake. Sometimes I do make mistakes and I can't count. These are really, really big stickers, by the way. This is the Dead Tired little tombstone. At 19. This is the burnt out little candle. Probably my favorite of the trio. So I got 19 of this one too. We are getting there. Jack Skellington. You can tell this one is matte. I have 24. We're done with this, and then I have the Bleeding Heart gals. I thought it was really fun to do like the droopy heart thing, and I really still like the idea. It's just not my favorite art. I have 23 little Gabbies, 23 Shilohs, 24 V's. We're pretty much done with the manufacturer stickers, because yeah, I have all of these too. So every single one of these in this little container has been printed and cut by hand by myself. Like, look at this, my cutting skills are really not too bad. All the Creepy Mon series, I don't know if you can see them properly. Basically all the creepy cute Pokemon that I drew, I'm gonna make sticker sheets of. It's not in the list because technically it's not a product that exists. It's a product that I need to create, so I can't make inventory of something that doesn't exist. Okay, moving on. Let's just put these away. Let's count these. So those are 25 stacks, so we got 109. Many of these went into a bunch of people's orders as freebies, and I still have 109 of them. And that's the only caveat I have with sticker wrap. It's just the fact that I'm stuck with too many stickers. I like to experiment with a lot of designs, but I want smaller quantities. Zap Creatives, their deals just work better with me. Okay, let's stop here. We've completed yet another sheet. We went through 3 lists. It's not so bad. To be continued. I'm gonna move on with the prints tomorrow when I have better lighting, hopefully. The sun is setting right now, so I'm gonna stop right here. I'll see you then. So I would not, in fact, move on to the prints the next day. What happened instead is that I refilmed and edited my comeback video in its entirety. Something that took me a good week and a half to do. I know, it sounds like a really dumb shift in priorities when you only have 2 weeks left to count prep, and in retrospect, it was. But long story short, I had my reasons and felt a strong urge to do it then, so I just did it. I was also convinced that I could do it in a week for some reason, which would leave me another full week to count prep, but alas, the video ended up going live on the 16th. And the con was on the 19th. So that left me a whopping 2 days left to finish all of my con prep. Like, what could possibly go wrong, right? So one thing that I did not take into account while planning this 2 days of excruciating con prep warfare is that the second something unexpectedly goes wrong, and it always does, then you are rightly screwed on time. In this case, I did not take into consideration that over 4 years old adhesive from the protective layer on the acrylic charms that were never peeled would transfer onto the charm and stick to it very stubbornly. Luckily, this was fixable with some elbow grease, a microfiber cloth, and a very lengthy rubbing session. It all came off in the end and the charms look amazing now, but I felt very dumb in that moment to put everything on pause just to spend hours rubbing charms instead. The silver lining to this is that somehow only the Cheshire Cat charms were badly affected by this issue. The Rat Lover charms had a lot less adhesive sticking to them, and the wood charms had none at all, thank God. But that is not to say that there were no issue with the wooden charms. There was, actually. When I removed the protective layers on their back, I noticed that the wood was very rough and splintery. Again, probably because the adhesive had been sticking to it for so long. So yeah, I took it upon myself to sand down each and every one of them to make their back ultra smooth and splinter free. If the vigorous rubbing took me most of the afternoon to do, then the sanding took most of the evening, because I pretty much spent the entire day just rubbing and sanding charms, and before I knew it, it was night, and that was all I had achieved that day. And because of this second unexpected twist, and because of the little time I had remaining, I just stopped filming the con prep at that point, and just solely focused on getting as much done as I could on time. The next day was spent entirely printing, cutting, and sleeving prints, packaging some of the charms, and not sleeping. Like, I'm not even joking, I slept maybe an hour because I passed out trying to wake up Ben in the morning and I just failed. But hey, on a good note, here is what our table looked like. It's not too shabby for a first time, and of course we both have points that we would like to improve in the future, but yeah, all things considered, our table looked pretty good in my opinion. So here is some photos and footage of the convention, and it was a lot of fun. I'll admit though, I feel a bit ashamed to even call this a convention vlog, cause once I got to the convention, I was so freaking tired. I just went on survival mode and I did not film anything except for some clips of our own table at the very end of the con. I did manage to find some photos of the convention from other people who went there, but no videos at all, like it was just impossible to find. So yeah, it's kind of a real shame, because the park/garden next to the convention was so beautiful and the main attraction for that con to begin with, and I just have no footage of it whatsoever. I don't even have a photo of me and my friend next to our table for our very first artist alley ever, and that's kind of sad. But on the other hand, me and my friend really had a good time at that convention. It definitely felt like a small con. There were not that many attendees, and it was a little rough around the edges on a few things, like that was just their second year in the running, and like there was no AC in the AA in the middle of steamy, hot August. But all in all, it was a fun con. All the attendees were in a good mood, we made a few sales, we made a few really cool artists, we had great weather almost the entire time, and yeah, we had a really good experience overall. For our very first artist alley ever, and especially after all the self-inflicted struggles that I had gone through, this felt like a success. And both me and my friend felt really pumped for the next convention that was gonna come in September. I think there's a good chance we would have done Hyacon again in 2024, but sadly the con got cancelled. So I'm sad to say that this was our first and last Hyacon, RIP. But yes, so this is part 1 of 2, and the next studio vlog will cover Animaracon in Sherbrooke. And I can already say that this one will have a lot more con prep footage in it, and also a lot less despair in general. I feel a bit bad because this studio vlog feels a lot more like a cautionary tale of what not to do when preparing for a convention than anything else. And I also think I did a very poor job at filming a lot of it. But I'd like to think that this is how we learn, and every future vlog will benefit from the blunders of the previous ones. Anyway, this is gonna be it for me. I'm going back into my crypt once more. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in part 2 of this convention venture. Au revoir!